Welcome back to Ooh, I Like That, a series where we're sharing creative works that inspire us. My name is Hannah, and I'm a designer.
And my name is Stella. I'm an animator.
Today we're going to take a look at two pieces, a trailer for a documentary that Stella brought in, and a short educational piece of animation that I brought in. So, let's talk about it.
Ooh, I like that.
This is a clip by Moth Animation called Better Humans, and it's part of a series. This series focuses on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and how it sort of still has an impact on science today, and the different approaches that we're taking to human nature and the study of it as influenced by pieces by her.
The acceleration across essentially the entire technical frontier means that there's probably nothing about the human that somebody somewhere isn't thinking
already
about designing.
The texture is so good.
You can start with, say, CRISPR-Cas9, and
It has
the
the
ability
funkiness of
that
like a
gives you to
student-animated film.
design humans at the genetic level. We don't have
I
enough
like how designing humans is like
wisdom
Premiere
to do that
timeline.
well. But that's not stopping, for example, the experiments with human cells and human DNA.
As humans, we are evolving as technology makes its way into our lives and into society. And I think the physical side of it, where we're being changed or augmented physically, is maybe going to be the next wave that happens, because we've had a lot that's already happened on the information side. So I think about physical things, and when I think about technology, I think about devices, robots that can apply forces and move like humans or help humans move.
So good.
So we can think about having devices that we wear called wearable robots that work in parallel with our underlying biological muscles. And by having those devices do the work, ideally your muscles need to do less work. So you'd be able to walk with less effort, or maybe you'd be able to climb up a hill faster, or be able to jump higher. You know, with these types of technologies, I think you're not only about improving human performance, but you can sometimes think about it as extending human performance.
You look a little bit longer, and there's a suite of technologies that are coming into
I
play
love when they're using that flat
may
color for a
mean
background
that
and highlighting
the
a
first
certain
person
section
to
of the
live to
frame.
150
I'm just
with a
in
high
awe
quality
with
of
all
life
the
has already
colors
been
being
born in
used.
this
It's
country.
like the
If
same
it's true,
like color
Yeah.
palettes for
that
like most.
significantly
Yeah,
changes
it
how we
creates such a
think about
vibrant
what it means to
world
be human, because
that's so
we
fun and
begin
Yeah, it
to
feels so
extend
different in
human
each one.
life in ways that won't be incremental, but in ways which are designed and intended to essentially begin to move towards
All these
unlimited
transitions, man.
lifespans. When you start to get a much more rapid change in technology, particularly technology that affects the human, then I think you begin to get human as a process. The idea of human that we have is already
You think this is
changing
traditional?
much more rapidly than we know.
Yeah, they did
But
a
the
little
process
blurb on it
of
we can talk
human
about where it's
has simply
it's really cool.
accelerated.
Jeez.
It continues,
Wow.
and we remain human.
Oh my god, so cute. What a fun video.
It's just so like quirky, and I also just saw that it was from 4 years ago, which I didn't even
4
realize
years
because I had
ago.
only just seen it.
Wow.
I know, but from what I read, it seems like they did 2D animation first, and then did it with like Posca pens, and then
Fun
they were doing
medium.
that on cells and layering it and compositing it.
It's a lot of work.
So they have like photos of all the different characters and stuff. Yeah, but what I love is that they like were like it. They went. It's still worth it to do that to get the look. Like we could probably recreate it if we really wanted to, but we're gonna actually use the materials and make it look like we wanted to. And I think it totally feels right.
Yeah.
You know, you get the texture of that, which makes
Yeah.
sense. So
I know digital work has always made things like much faster, and a lot of the times you can recreate a lot of things, but there's something about having like a physical like even archival stuff of the like films that you've made. It's such a special thing, and I'm glad someone's still doing it. All those filmmakers out there who are still doing traditional work.
I mean, especially at the corporate level, like this is for, I mean, it's a company doing it, it's a studio making it, you know, like, I appreciate that even though they're doing something that's educational, that could have been, you know, something really short and just an experiment in the side of like, okay, we're going to keep it brief. Like, it was a full piece. They really took the time. They had characters that they put in it. They had these really like complex backgrounds and color stories, and they made it by hand. Like, it feels like they threw their all into this piece for people to learn something. And that feels really wonderful, because sometimes it feels like it's just for entertainment, but when you can get something out of it too, from a way where you can walk away and go, oh, okay, I kind of feel like I understand more about the world. And it looked really good while they told that to me.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely a cool opportunity that they took this, could have been maybe a little bit more boring video, but having such a fun visual, having that take of like, let's push it with the visuals over here, make it so fun and interesting that honestly I couldn't take my eyes off of it. That's like great design work, that's great animation work, helps with storytelling a lot. 10 out of 10. This next clip I'm going to show is a trailer for a documentary called Now Is the Past, My Father, Java, and Phantom Films from a Japanese filmmaker Shinichi Ise, who follows and tries to trace his father's work back in World War II, because he was once a film editor who made propaganda films in Indonesia.
Ise Chounosuke。私のおじいちゃんは記録映画の編集者でした。父がおじいちゃんのこと、戦時中のジャワでの国策映画作りのことを知りたいと思い、撮影を始めたのはもう30年ほど前になると言います。
Bahasa Jepang kalau sudah marah ngeri. Bilangnya apa? Bageru nanda omae.
当たり前だけど映像の方がすごいんだよね。だから人間よりずっと覚えてる。人間は忘れるけど。
今は昔、昔は今。
If we go back, there was a line there that really like captured me, where it says like visual images are far more impressive than we human beings. And films never forget, but people soon forget. I feel like that's very interesting. And this line specifically, I want to listen to the voices that were never spoken. I was like, oh, because isn't that a great thing? Isn't that such a like honor to be able to do that and present it to the world? And yeah, people do forget due to like, I don't know, various reasons, but films can like outlive you. It can like bring up discussions years later. It can be watched at different points in someone's life. It can bring different types of perspective and conversation depending on when it was watched, based on the context of whoever's watching's like perspective, experiences. And yes, this sounds very interesting to me. Again, I haven't actually watched it. I really hope it's a good one because I'm sharing it with you guys. But just the thought of it, the concept of it, is highly intriguing for me. That's why I decided to share it.
Yeah, there's got to be, I think, a generational aspect too, right? To like you know, she's talking about her father. Her father is like looking for things that his father had made. And so it's not only reconciling, you know, the actions that people before you have taken, but the people who it's impacted by watching the film that they're in. Mm-hmm. And knowing that your loved one is behind the camera and knowing that the people who were impacted are in front of it, like the gaze of it all, I think is something that's important, especially as they're being filmed now. Like there's this second layer to it of like now they're participating in a way that maybe the filmmaker who they're related to wasn't, like if he wasn't in front of the camera as much. I don't know, because I haven't seen the archival footage, but just those layers, I think, of documenting a documentation is always going to be, I think, emotional, because you have the original things that were incited by like the actual piece itself, and then you have the layers of capturing the feelings that you are feeling as you're watching it. And it sort of creates this cyclical amount of realization, I think.
Okay, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for joining discussions with Hannah and I. That concludes this episode of Ooh, I Like That. If you like this one, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Ooh, I like that.